Welcome to Still Talking Uncut. I'm your host, Big Easy, joined by Mr. Celebrity himself, Master Distiller Sean Rigsby. Welcome to the show,
ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen,
welcome to the show. The co-host of Still Talking Uncut. Check us out on Apple Podcasts. We're there now.
And everywhere else.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. We started a minute early just to make up for being late a time before. Cancel it out, you know. But
You should have
anyways,
started a whole lot earlier than that.
no, it's 1 minute's all you get. All you get's 1 minute. You know,
Hey,
you can't give
30 minutes for me. I can't say much about y'all.
can't
Jeff,
give too much.
Jeff was right on time. You guys were late.
He was. I came in. They was just in limbo, staring at a no Sean screen. So, but anyways, welcome to the show. Special guest, welcome back, our boy Hooch. Welcome to the show, Mr. Legal Distiller. Now, congratulations. We'll divulge into that. We also got a special guest, the one and only Jeff from Mountain State Distillery, Charleston, West Virginia. If you're ever in the area, you got to go there, man. It's beautiful out there, right on the edge of their little downtown district, man. I was real impressed when we rolled in there. And we got good stories about all that. It was a hell of a weekend, and we'll definitely get to that. So, Jeff, welcome to the show, brother. Welcome to the show. It's an honor to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
So we always start out with a little bit of what you drinking on. So we'll let the guest of honor go first. That means Jeff, because it definitely ain't Hooch.
Exactly.
I'm going heavy tonight. I got the Propel.
Got to drive home. Got to drive home.
I drive home.
So, do you have
I'm not getting
anything?
paid for that either.
You have anything that you make that you would normally be drinking on that you really like that you can divulge into?
I mean, I like the whiskey that we do here, but I like the shine. I like that peach shine a lot.
I was talking about Hooch's new bottle. You know,
I wish it. I mean, I've got one bottle of it, and I can't open it. That's the only one.
That's all right. We're waiting on batch number 2. So
Yes, we are.
We're trying. We are trying, man.
trust me, we've all been trying. We've all been on the hunt and looking, you know. And in this family, man, if somebody needs something, they just make an all call and everybody tries what they can. It's just real hard right now. Peaches are a rough go, unless you want to go get them at the store, and who the hell wants to pay that for them? But, you know. So, yeah, if you need something, man, all you got to do is reach out and we'll help you. We'll do anything we can. So
I appreciate that.
That's what it's all about, you know. Sean, what you drinking on up there?
A little bit of this.
Like a water night?
No.
I got you.
Pabst Hilltop Distillery. It's that caramel apple pie that you picked up for me.
Mm-hmm.
70 proof. It's pretty good. I mean,
I tell you what I like about that apple pie is it's hot on the front end, right? And like, you know, usually when they're mixed, you don't expect it to be hot. And it's like when I tasted it was hot on the front end, which made the apple and the caramel seem warmer than it would have. So it was a nice change, because normally you get a liquor, you don't want it to be hot at all. You know, like that's the goal. Not hot liquor is more drinkable. But with that, it had a little bit of heat on the front, and I feel like it paired well with the caramel and apple. Almost, it made it like it was warm, you know, like a warm caramel apple pie. It was wild. So well done, Chris, at Pat's. I enjoyed it, so I wanted to drink it all. I had to drive to West Virginia, so I couldn't. What you drinking on over there, Hooch?
Well, I feel like I have to do the obligatory bottle of water, right? I guess that's the theme.
Yeah,
But no, I've got some Mountain State Distillery whiskey and Coke. I got a whole line of stuff here, man. I can't be on here without drinking the Hooch. And then for my boy Aaron, I had to pull out the banana brandy. So I got a mixture of shit.
Nice. Oh, that's our boy Noble. That's his banana brandy.
Yeah.
I don't ever call him. I don't even know his first name.
That's Noble. That's cool.
How is that banana?
That's that's my recipe, my technique on that banana. He loves making it. So I haven't made any in quite a while. I guess I'm gonna have to make some and bring it down. I'm pretty sure y'all tried my peach, so now it's banana time.
Hey, I've got some. I'll bring it down. I got
There
you,
you
Jeff.
go. Yep, makes it just like I do. Pretty close too, man. It's wild.
Made banana twice, and one time it came out okay. The other time, not so much.
Yeah. Use my infusion trick. You're gonna be like, wow. Like there it is. There it is. Really nice. Hooch, go ahead and get you a banana brandy on the shelf down there, man. West Virginia needs one.
Hey, there we go. We'll just start a whole Hooch's line, right?
That's
Jeff?
right.
We'll do banana, apple, peach.
I think I mentioned that, didn't I?
Hey,
Well,
rice vodka, bro.
Yeah,
I want to see rice vodka. I want to. Right. You got to try his rice vodka.
Yeah,
That's got to be on a shelf in a vodka. It is wild.
I wish I still had some of that to let Jeff try it, because that was different. It was from Chris. Is it Koenig?
Koenig?
Yeah.
I don't know.
From over in California, his distillery is where I got that idea, because I met him over at Hillbilly Jam whenever he was with Rick there at his tent. So
let me look around. It's possible. I might have a jar. You never know. We got a good story about that later. But
yeah.
So there's a new distillery here in Ohio, in Troy, Ohio. It's called A.M. Scott. A bourbon, vodka, and so they sent me a couple handshakes and asked me if I would try them. And I'm like, hell yeah, I'll try y'all's liquor. And, you know, Big Easy, man, I don't turn down liquor. He handed it to me, I'm drinking it. So I got their 80 proof vodka that I'm going to give it a try real quick.
I feel like something's coming after this.
If not, I'll make it happen.
It's better than Sean's vodka. That's for damn sure.
There it is.
Is that what you wanted? I wasn't even going to go there, but you asked for it.
I never made a vodka, so we'll go with that.
I know. I tried the show vodka. I'm just saying. No,
hey, I haven't made one either, even though I called it rice vodka when I made it. So,
I wasn't going there, but you asked for it, Sean, and I can't knock it down. I can't not knock it down when you set it up. You know, for a vodka, it's like it should be flavorless. And then this is probably more up Hooch's alley. A bourbon whiskey, about 90 proof.
Is it headsy?
that's tails, Sean.
Or
Get
tails.
it right. Tails.
I don't know the difference.
You can't even dig at me. Just shut up.
That's a pretty good bourbon whiskey. You know, I'm not big on bourbons, but I'll tell you, Hooch would drink the shit out of that and some Coke. But so when next time y'all come in town, we'll go up to A.M. Scott and we'll check it out. So,
Oh yeah.
So it's all good, you know. Nice. Go up there. I'm sure they say that they're doing this thing where they're just trying to get people to try their things and see what people think about them. And you know, for a nice small distillery, I look forward to going up there. So, like I said, next time you guys you're in town, we'll have to stop by there too. There's a couple places we need to stop by now.
Is that A.M. Scott? Is that a big place up there, or what's the deal with that?
It's a new place. It's just a small little distillery, you know, small batch. Like they're small batch, you know, something more like what we would do.
You're talking like 100-gallon small batch, or
I'm not 100% sure. I don't know a lot of the details. Yeah, I just know they sent me free liquor and asked me to try it. So,
Where do I sign?
we'll see about getting y'all some, you know. So when I find out more about them, because you know now I got to divulge, they sent me some free liquor. I got to learn all about them. We'll have to. I'll let you know when I know. Unless somebody from them's in the comments, then you go on ahead and write out everything about you, and we'll put it up and read it. So, but anyways, back to the show. So tell us what you got new, Hooch. Tell us what happened. You know, it's y'all show. That's why we're here.
Dream come true, buddy. That's all I got to say is dream come true. Thanks to that guy sitting right over there, Mr. Jeff. Finally got my name on a jar.
That's what it's about, you know.
I mean,
it might not be everybody's dream, but if it's yours, bro, run with it.
Yeah.
And if you know what it took in the trials and tribulations and the bullshit and the hard work it went through, then you respect a little bit more. So, I tip my hat to you. Congratulations, Hooch. And I told you Saturday at the release, Jeff, man. Thank you, sir. You're the man. So,
hey, now don't give all the credit my way, because this was basically Jeff's brainchild as far as doing peach, and it was his mash bill. I just came in and put my touch with the infusion, more or less, Jeff. So, I mean,
nice. So, before we get into Jeff's backstory, while we're talking about it, how'd you guys meet up? How did you decide to settle on peach? And then tell us a little bit about the run, because I know that the run has a little bit of specialness, to it as well. Everything means a little something, and when it means a little bit something, it's a little extra.
Yeah. So really, it was just by chance. So I stopped by the distillery a couple times, right, Jeff? And I talked to you a few times, and finally I stopped in there and decided to start talking liquor. And I never will forget. Jeff looks at me and he goes, "So you like using turbo yeast?" And I was like, "Hell no!" And he looks at my wife. He looks at my wife and he goes, "This guy might know what he's talking about."
I remember that.
Yeah, and it kind of exploded from there. Stopping by, and I had a few parts one time Jeff could use. I dropped off, and just kind of the friendship was stuck that way. It just,
probably 6 or 8 months ago, I had no idea who Chad was. He had come in a couple of times, but yeah, I do remember that about the turbo yeast. That's kind of like that's the icebreaker when somebody tells you that I can't tell you how many people come in here and say, "Yeah, I make this and I make that," and I'm like, what kind of a turbo yeast do you use, or do you use it, or whatever? And they're like, "Yeah, this stuff will get me 21% alcohol." I'm like, all right.
well, me being the guy that I am, of course, I had to pull the phone out and show off the Fat 50, and I fully think Jeff thought I was full of shit.
I could see that. Like this dude just, oh, cool, you got a still, like. I can imagine, later on down the line when he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm friends with these guys and I'm friends with this guy." He's probably thinking like, "Ain't no way, man." It takes a while.
Well, we started. I don't even know. I had told him that I have a guy here locally that makes a lot of salsas and stuff like that, and I kept telling him that I was going to do a peach moonshine. He's like, "You ever need some peaches, you let me know." So he shows up one day with I'm wanting to make it, and he done cored all these things and froze them, and he brought me about 20, 24, 25 pounds. And then I was telling Chad about doing that, and he started talking about this infusing the piece that you made.
Jar rig. He's talking about jar rig. He talk about Flatlander still jar rigs. Talking about a 3-jar setup.
Yeah, and I've seen a 1-jar setup like that before, but never 3. And I was always afraid to use them because of it gets cold in here, and then the heat and the breaking and stuff, and I'm scared of messing up anybody's equipment. So he brought it down here, man, and that was the coolest rig that I've ever used.
That's cool shit.
It's definitely eye candy for sure.
I had it sitting out here, and people were, "Whoa, what is that? What are y'all doing with that?" Well, that's what we're getting ready to make some peach shine out of.
Just one of them running in the window, man. Running water would be Just brings them in, man. Gets them in the door. They want to see it. It's
I
cool.
wish
Like
so bad we could have positioned that thing over by the window. That'd have been cool for that night we were running too.
Yeah, it would. I wish I'd have, when I built all this out, that I would have just went straight over to the wall so that I could do my distilling and stuff up against the windows.
Yep.
But the fire folks wouldn't. I had to have some kind of a back way out and all that safety junk.
stupid fire codes.
No, it's ridiculous.
Just let us be sketchy, man. We want to do sketchy shit. It's more enjoyable. So.
You know what? I was the first one to ever do this here in Charleston legally, and they didn't know what to do or what to require. They didn't know that there was no code set for distilling, and it was really just as you go, they would say, well, maybe we can't do that, or they ended up getting some fire code from some other city, and when I'd ask them about something, they'd be like, well, let me break out the manual.
Page 437 later.
So how long?
You got to love it whenever the people telling you what to do don't even know what to tell you what to do.
Sounds like everyday life. Sounds like you're in a Facebook group.
Oh, man.
So Hooch told us 2 days beforehand, like, hey man, well he told us when he was before he mashed, he's letting a couple of us in on what's going on, and we're all like, oh hell yeah, that's awesome, bro. Let us know. Like, I hope you run 100 gallons because I need about 20 jars. and so we're just giving him shit because that's what we do. No matter how high you are in life, it's your friend's duty to keep you here and remind you of even if you don't need reminded, we still gonna remind you of who you are and where you came from. And Hooch is a very humble person. He'll never let it get to his head, and that's one of the things I like about him. And so
he's a piece of shit.
Yeah, I mean, no bigger than Sean or myself, but I think that's why we get along so well. The three shit of tears, I guess. I don't know. So 2 days before, he's like, hey man, I'll let you know I'm doing my jar release on Saturday. And we're just like, bruh, ain't no way in hell I'm missing this. I don't care if you gave me 5 hours notice, I'm there. And so I already told Hooch, like, I'm coming. He's like, no, you ain't got to come. Don't put yourself out, this and that. And I'm like, nah, bro, I'm there. And then so as soon as he told us that, I'm messaging Sean privately, like, you going? He's like, yeah, I'm going. Don't tell him no. Like, all right, I got you. And then so I'm messaging all these other guys from Ohio, like, Bence and Judd and trying to see who all can make it. And, so it's put together a little group, like, hey, we'll meet you all there. We're going to go celebrate. Hooch had no idea. All he was me and his other buddy was going to be there. And so, I get ready to go, and I'm like, well, I'm going down that way. I got to stop at Pap's Hilltop Honey Distillery, man. It's just, it's on the way. I can't.
Matter of fact, you guys passed us on your way.
I did. Sean drives like an 80-year-old woman, and he left way before me. I drove past him, and he's like, there's Sean. And I'm like, I'll be damned. There he is. And we got off, and we went to Bainbridge, and it was beautiful. That's where I got Sean that caramel apple pie. And then we shot down there, and Sean and all them was already there. They got there before I did. And so I can imagine how you felt when you saw Sean roll in, and you saw guys like Judd and Bence. And
you got to pay back the favor, man.
No, dude, I tell you what, because I had no idea anybody was coming, like you said, besides you and Big old Chris from up northwest Virginia.
We kept it that way, as I believe you did that to somebody about a month prior.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you don't know what. Yeah,
I mean, I might have pulled up with old Bennett Shiner in the Big Easy's yard during his birthday party. Whenever I told him I couldn't come, Easy turns around, his eyes are about this big, and he just puts his head down. He's like,
probably the same look you had on your face when old Riggs
Yep.
and all them walked in. So,
oh, I told Riggs the other day, I said, once all you guys walked in, I said, did you notice I disappeared for a minute? I said, I had to go outside and smoke and clear my freaking head because I was about to lose it. My man card was going to be gone.
yeah,
That's how much that meant to me, man.
It was definitely good you had your head clear before I rolled in. So I just, man, you celebrate your friends' achievements, man. When you got somebody and they're proud of what's going on, why would you kill that in any way? It's my brother's success is my success, and I'm going to celebrate it right along with him. I'm not going to take credit for anything he did, but you bet your ass I'm going to celebrate it as if it was my own, me living my dream. Hell, one of my dreams is to have me a jar. It'd have to be here in Ohio, so that's just the way it is. But something great happens. Just say no different than when Sean finally got his jar that he won and he earned. Guess where we were? Right there to celebrate my brother's success. Absolutely. And that's the way it should be. If you're the person and you can't be happy for the man next to you, you need to take a look in the mirror, man. And yes, I'm definitely rubbing this into Tennessee Texans' face because you didn't come, so you eat every word of this, there, Jason.
Hey, I gotta cut my boys a little break because I did tell everybody, like, look, don't put yourself out. Like, we've got a very limited number of jars. This was a 26-gallon run. I mean, it was limited number of jars, but man, whenever people's like, I don't give a shit, and they still just showed up. Whenever, well, hell, I'll be honest. Whenever I had people real close that didn't show up, and I had people from 4 hours that decided to drive down, man, that meant the world. It really did.
I mean, let's be for real. Like, the size of the run was a strict business decision based on the unknown. You don't know, you don't know what the future is going to bring, and you're testing the waters. Like Jeff knew Hooch, but he doesn't know he didn't know
exactly.
Hooch.
And
you know what I'm saying?
And that's one of the things that you just said you don't really know, but
and
us knowing him as long as we have.
Mm-hmm.
And knowing what he was wanting to make, we're like, yep, that's going to be good.
Yeah, I knew. When he's like, I'm making peach brandy. I'm like, oh, yeah, how you making it? I'm using the Flatlander jar rig. I knew it was going to be amazing. I haven't had anything in Hooch's that wasn't great. He's great at what he does.
Except for the soon-to-be apple brandy.
Yeah, I want to try that. I hope Hooch gets the Tire Fire trophy.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you, I might get the Tire Fire trophy on that apple brandy because it is not no Hooch's peach moonshine. I can promise you that.
Only time I ever did an apple brandy was a long time ago, and I fermented them apples when we did that apple wheat, but that was a little different.
Yeah, so, you ran the still while I had other things to do whenever we did that too. So.
We had a good time. That's all that matters.
So Jeff, talk about well, if I didn't cut you off easy.
No, you're good.
Okay, I was gonna say just talk about how you got into it. What led you to where you are today.
First off, I always tell people come in here all the time. They're like, "What's your story?" And I'm like, "I wish I had a story." And yeah, I say it jokingly, but I really don't. I mean, I grew up where a few people's, I don't know if it was their parents or uncles or cousins or whatever. I was just a kid that made a little bit of stuff here and there. But I really think that it was just because I watched too much Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh, Uncle Jesse.
Oh, Uncle Jesse.
Good old Uncle Jesse. I mean, I was really, and this shows about how old I am. I was really young when that show came out. And it was, like every other kid that age, we loved that stuff. But I don't know, as I got older, I remember I was in high school and this guy brought some to school and we all go out to his truck and he's like, try this stuff, man, pure grain alcohol. And I couldn't get past the smell. Here I was 14, 15 years old. But I always just loved it was so interesting to me how people took this, grains and fruits and all this. And I'm like, well, how do they do this? So when I was in college, I actually did a lot of, there was no internet then, so I didn't get to watch any YouTube, but I had to actually read stuff, and I figured out how to do it. And I actually did we had to do in some kind of an English class, a process paper. And I did it on that. And it is the only time that I was the only one that people came up to after class and was asking, if I could help them do stuff. I'm like, no, I don't have the equipment. I don't have anything to do this. But so I started messing around a little more. I was trying to build a still, and it's still hanging back here it's been with me that long. My buddy, he's like, come down to the car. And he had this coiled up piece of copper wire, copper cable and hose, whatever. And so I took it home, and I was trying to, make the worm out of it and all this stuff. And I'm doing this in the basement of my house with my mom and dad upstairs. And so that didn't work out very well. But about a year later, he came up to me. He said, hey, man, you remember that copper tubing I gave you? I was like, yeah. He said, I'm almost just trying to find that. That was the gas line for our heat. I'm like, because they took it off in the winter or in the summer because it actually ran along the floor. He's like, she's mad as anything because we can't find that. Sorry. But so that's actually still hanging back there.
I wondered what that coil was that was hanging there. I kept walking by. That makes total sense now.
That's awesome.
A funny story is all it is, because it's never had anything but natural gas go through it. But
That's awesome.
I got out of college and had to get a job and all that, so I had to stop messing around with that stuff. But I don't know, about 20 years ago, I just started messing with it again, and went all the way with it this time.
I mean, you have a story. You're first generation. You fell in love with the fermentation process, the science part of the house, the whys. You're self-taught. I'm sure you've stubbed your toe and messed up quite a lot of shit along the way, as we all have. So. I say it like this because I'm a first generation. I have no heritage to fall back on or to speak about. But, if you don't have a heritage to fall back on, then why not be the heritage? Like, you're the heritage. You're the one going on. Maybe farther on down the line, somebody will look back and be like, oh, my great uncle was a moonshiner. He owned a distillery in Charleston. He made this type of liquor. And maybe they'll find your recipe book and they'll pick it up. And then so maybe generations from now, you're the heritage because you took a leap of faith based on what you loved from the beginning as a child. Like, you fell in love as a child, even though you couldn't get past the high proof in the beginning. Even still, it sticks with you, whether it's that smell or that taste or just the love of the process. So you have a legit story, tell it, live it. And the more passionate that you're about it, and the more passionate that you feel about when you speak about yourself, your customers will feel that, and it'll connect them to every jar you have. And the more connected to a jar somebody is, the more likely they are to come off money and take that jar home with them. So, tell your story, man. Tell it. Be proud of it. You earned it, and that's just what it is.
Now, my mom won't confirm it, but my uncle has told me stories about my grandfather making it, and I know where he did it and all that stuff. He died when I was young. I don't know. Like 86 is when he died. So he never told me anything about anything.
Yeah.
So he passed away when I was born. That's the same year I was born.
Oh my! I'm glad I didn't say how old I was.
Hey, Jeff, I won't tell you what year I was born then.
Probably fucking like 97.
It's
2001.
I can tell you this: it doesn't start. It's not a 1908.
It's a. It's nice.
Mine's not a 1980 either.
Well,
Nah, 1990.
So Jeff,
no, what y'all are saying about being first generation, man, sometimes I wish so bad that I could confirm or deny that it happened. But I feel like sometimes maybe distilling did happen just based on the life they lived. But then also knowing my family and the backstory, I don't know if that'd be something they's into. So,
I look at it like this: if you have family that traces back to the Appalachia area, somebody made liquor.
Well, they may not have made it, but they may have moved it. One way or another, I'm willing to bet they were involved, whether they had a farm and they were growing the grains.
That's what I was getting ready to say, a farm with grains, something. I mean, it during that period, it was almost impossible not
I can guarantee you that somebody along the line at least enjoyed some liquor. But, if you ain't got the heritage, what a better way than to start your own, man.
If you don't have the heritage, make it. That's what I say. That's
right. And just like you do anything else, do it to the best of your ability, because that's what you're going to do.
It's what I'm saying. If this place ever didn't work, I don't know what else to do.
Yeah.
So, Jeff, if you had to pick of anything to drink, what would you pick? Whether it's a bourbon, a brandy, a flavored drink, or a beer?
Coconut rum.
Coconut rum. Okay.
It's just that tropical. I hate the fact that most of it is really, really low proof.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the fact that I can drink it ice cold and just throw it back, and it's just my thing.
I feel like Mountain State's going to have a really good coconut rum coming up, because we're going to
imagine so. Coconut rum, rice vodka, all kinds
of stuff on the docket, man.
So I love your spot. Like, you're right there on that busy street corner, man. If you had a sign that said free moonshine samples, bro, I'd pull over. I'd bust a U-turn. I'd pull over and pull in there.
Would.
Something about free moonshine.
Me too. If I was
bro.
Behind you,
you get them in the door with some free samples, man. Tell your story, show them your still, connect them, and like I said, it makes you buy a jar. Like, you have no choice. It's just it's so connected.
Whenever I go to a craft distillery, because I don't go to the big ones. I'd say the biggest one I've been to was out in Tennessee, like Old Smoky or something like that.
Yeah.
I like to go into where these guys are back there doing the work.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't go into one of them places if you're a guy like me and not buy a bottle.
Yep.
It's just, you gotta, I try and support all them, and I'll give it to you. There's some of the crafts ones that I don't go in, but that's another story, because I don't want to buy their stuff.
Tennessee may be where real shine's made, but it ain't where good shine's made.
Hey, you like what you like. Like, Hooch took me in a couple, and I've been in a couple where I'm like, hey, I don't know about this, man, but I still buy a bottle. And then I like the smaller ones, like I love your Distillery. It's small. It's like, it's smaller, and I'm all about small batch. Like, people ask me all the time, like, oh, are you a moonshiner? Like, no. I consider myself a craft small batch distiller, because I run everything in small batch, and it's craft, and I don't claim to be a moonshiner at all.
A crafty bitch.
Yeah, that's right. I'm a crafty bitch.
I feel like my biggest pet peeve with any of them, though, just like we was talking about with that heritage thing, is if you don't have it, don't fucking make it up, man. Right? Like,
yep.
the best
Yeah.
distilleries are honest distilleries that you walk in and they're like, here's what it is. Whenever they try and do that marketing smoke and mirrors or load it with some kind of big, huge backstory or source it and sell it for $75 a bottle, like I'm just not into that at all. At all.
Like I like the small distilleries. Like, you know, you walk into Pabst, you walk into Flat Rock, Tucking Reds. You go down to the even the Bella Dayton, even though it's kind of a little more classy, but still you walk in there, you go into Dayton Barrel Works. I'm looking forward to checking out this AM Scott just to see what it's like inside there. You go into Mountain State, you just walk in, and it feels like something that, like, if you're a distiller, you're a shine maker, it feels like something you would do at home, you know, and it makes you feel an even bigger connection. Like, man, you know, this is legit. Like, you know, it's small. It's not 700,000 gallon stills. It's just everything is where it should be, you know, and it's nice to see that. And then I believe that the product coming out is more like something you would make at home yourself too, because, you know, like when I tasted your your corn liquor, and it's like, yeah, man, it tastes like some corn liquor I'd make at home, you know, and then I come back in from outside and somebody hands me a shot of something and they're like, try this, and I'm like, well, okay, man, and because, you know, I don't ask at all. I'm just like, give it here. Oh yeah, let me try that. I try it and they're like, and I'm like, whoo, that's hot. And they're like, yeah, just come off the still. It's like 170 or 190, whatever it was. But then, you know, the good rum flavor comes in, and I'm like, bro, I really like that. You know, like, I'm not one to turn anything down. So we roll into Hooch's thing. You know, we all, you know, congratulate him, this and that, and, you know, try our best to make him cry. You know, I give Hooch a big old bear hug, tell him how proud of him I am, because, you know, that's what you do. And so we're all just hanging out, get to meet Jeff, check everything out, try their liquor, you know. I think he's like, do you want to try some liquor? Like, bro, you must not know me yet. Like, hell yeah. I didn't drive all this way. Yeah, like, hand it over, man. As long as it don't have coffee in it, I will gladly try it.
I have no plans of coffee liquor because I hate coffee myself.
My man. Make Hooch stay away from it.
Now, a chocolate whiskey I do want to make.
You know, I've had like two different chocolate alcohols that didn't taste like coffee. They always taste like coffee to me. And it's just something about when you put alcohol with it, it tastes like coffee to me. Alcohol and chocolate taste like coffee.
I've only had one.
Really likes chocolate extract.
Oh no! Yeah, Hooch got me to try some chocolate extract.
Oh,
he was like, "Here, try this," and I'm like, "You like, all right, you know, give it here." You know, you hand me something, I'm putting it in my mouth. Pretty much, it's just.
I'll remember that next time.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, I am. You're right. I'm an easy roofie, man. I ain't got to worry about you handing me nothing. Like, I said a hand.
Maybe this month.
Yeah, I said hand. Damn.
And that's where it took the turn.
All right, let's get back to it. But so we're there, you know, we try all these liquors, and then Bence, he's like, "Hey man, come out to my truck." And if Bence tells you to go to his truck, either he's gonna take advantage of you, or he's gonna pull out about 4 or 5 different jars of liquor. And, you know, so I flip a coin. Either way, I'm cool. And so we go out, and me and Sean go out there, and I'm like, I see old West Virginia, and I'm like, "Hey man, we're going over here to try jars." And I see Judd and them, I tell them, and it's just me and Sean over there. And Ben starts handing stuff out. You know, he's like, try this blueberry brandy. And I'm like, man, it's really good brandy. And he had some other stuff. And then if you're listening, Bence, you go to hell for handing me that fucking Jimmy Red chocolate malt. You knew what you was handing me. You knew damn well what you was handing me. That is some of the worst shit I've ever had in my life. You keep that Jimmy Red chocolate malt to yourself.
Man,
I know what you did.
The funny thing was, he hands it to me. He goes, "Here, try this." I'm like, "Oh, Easy would love this."
Oh, I didn't. He knew. Like,
before I even tasted it, I'm like, "Okay, yeah, he's gonna love this."
Yeah, I'm like, "Oh, I did not like it, man." And I'm just like, "Oh, I'll get you back, Bence. You better watch out." So, but I love Bence. So we're down here passing jars, and like we're right on the river. What's the name of that river right there?
Canal River.
It is. It's beautiful, and it's like we're standing on the main street, and we're just passing jars. This is what we do. We go anywhere, we're passing jars. It's insanity. And I look up, and there's these three ladies on the overpass. Like, there's a big overpass there, and they're just up there laughing, and we're just. I'm just like, hey man, we're being watched, and we all look up, and we're like, hey, y'all want some liquor? And they're like, no. And so we get done drinking. And then walking back, and here's Judd standing on the side of the road, and he fires up a big old fatty, like, you want to hit this? And I'm like, holy shit, man. Like, you can't take these group of guys nowhere. Damn Ohio guys.
I had no idea any of that was even going on.
We kept that away from you. We kept that. It just happens, like, it just happens. That's just the way it goes. It just happens.
Y'all are a bunch of degenerates. Can't take you.
We are, dude. You can't take me to funerals, wedding. You can't take me nowhere, man. Like the last two funerals I've been to, I've been like, "Hey, man, I got a jar of liquor in the car," and they're like, "Oh, okay, get it out, bro."
So you guys talked about that when we were at that one, and I'm like, "All right, well, I got the baby with me, so I'm like, well, we got to use the restroom." We walk in and we go outside, man, in the parking lot. I look out to the left. There's like a fucking huddle of people.
I pulled a jar of blueberry lemonade out, and I handed it to Matt, and he cracks it. As soon as he cracks it, man, his family starts walking out, and they come over, and just a big circle. This quart of liquor is gone in no time, and we're in a parking lot at a funeral, and I'm like, damn, And Sean's like, I have never seen that happen. And I'm like, bro, you can't take me nowhere. I'm either gonna make a bunch of friends, or I'm gonna get people drunk. And that's just the way it is,
Either way, it's a good time.
You're damn right. I'm going to have a good time.
Freaking Easy came up here one time, and I won't say the distillery name, but we went to a distillery. We're walking in, and I stop him as if we're walking in. I'm like, man, I'm just going to let you know, this guy's kind of a dick. Like, I wouldn't try and talk shine. Like, he's not going to let you in the back. I've been here multiple times. Like, he don't care.
I said, hold my beer.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we walk in there, we do a tasting. Next thing I know, Easy's like, yo, Hooch, we're going in the back. I'm like, what?
he's got us in the back talking about his stills, his new bottlers,
like,
showing us his bourbon. And we go to walk out of there, and he's like, bro, I've been coming here for 2 fucking years, and that dude hasn't taken me in the back. You was in there for 5 goddamn minutes, and now we're best friends. He's going to take me in the back every time I come in here.
Yeah. Did you tell him you used turbo yeast the first time you went in there?
I did. I messed up. I said turbo yeast and glycerin is my 2 favorite things in the world. That's what I said.
He heard about you, huh? He heard about you.
Oh man.
And it was an amazing time, man.
Without mentioning any names, but the pesky heads. That was a good one.
Pesky heads. Yeah, we went to a distillery, and the gentleman that had the heritage, who was the descendant and had the backstory, didn't have a clue about what he was talking about. Not a clue. And it really hurt. It hurt the experience, and just like, damn, man.
It makes so much sense, though. The people that don't want you back there don't want to,
Well,
yeah.
Because they don't know what any of their stuff does.
Yeah, this was rough. Like, the one we went to was rough. So I'm real glad that you're where you're at. You got a good distillery down there in Charleston.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
The one thing I really enjoyed when I went down there to your release, I've been wanting to go to Hatfields for a long time. And I had asked you somehow or another, well, for your next run, I was like, how close is Hatfields to where Mountain State is? That way, if you were to get another one, I'd like to stop down there on my way. And you're like, oh, it's like 15 minutes away. I'm like, son of a bitch. Well, we're stopping there.
Yeah. Now I see why you were asking that question.
Yeah, he asked quite a few questions. He'd be like, hey, man, ask Hooch this so he don't think it's me.
Yeah. I tried, man. I'm like, look, I'm sending all these videos and pictures.
It was a good time, man. So,
Sean, he specifically mentioned that he's like, well, Sean's not going to be able to be here. His wife has is a realtor and has a showing to do or something. So
there was something. I can't remember what you told me now, even, but you told me
either.
I know he was surprised.
And oh yeah, he was. I'm sure there was a point where Hooch is talking about his friends, and Jeff's thinking like, dude, just why you feed me all this bullshit, man? Like you know all these guys. Like that's what I would have thought. Like, man, there ain't no way you know these dudes, and ain't no way y'all are friends like that.
And I told him this. I'm like, I've been doing this here. I've been open for just short of 5 years. I don't have any. I don't know any until a couple of weeks ago. I didn't know any of you all. Never been to any of these festivals or any of that stuff. And he shows up, and then the world of craft distilling shows up.
I just handed you the key, bro. I just handed you the key.
Yeah,
we just opened the door. Yeah,
where have I been all this time?
All I am is a dumbass with a cell phone that happened to find the right people, and I guess not piss them off along the way. I'm not real sure.
I tell you, I bet Hooch felt like P. Diddy having all the celebrities show up to his birthday party. Like, told you, Jeff. Don't doubt me, man.
Yeah,
don't doubt me.
No autographs, please.
No autographs, please.
Tickle was up here in town about 6 weeks ago. Nobody knows why. Somebody just messaged me and said, man, I just saw he was down by the Capitol. Maybe he was meeting with, I can't imagine that of everybody they're going to send. I mean, that Tickle is going to be the one they send to the Capitol. But
to jail.
And I've never met Tickle, so I don't know anything about him other than his TV show annex. But
it's not any different.
He's my kind of guy then. But I've had all these, Jesse Dupree and Tim Smith and all these other guys come up here for these ABC things.
Is Jesse the cop?
No, Jesse from the rock band Jackal.
Oh fuck! Okay.
He's involved in a distillery out west somewhere, and they were all up here, and none of them come here. I don't know. It's just I sit over here and watch the tumbleweed some nights, and it gets a little discouraging. But yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, man. You got Hooch knows liquor, man, and he knows people, and so like I value anything he tells me. I'll tell you that right now. When it comes to knowledge, you shut up, Hooch, and you take this. So when it comes to knowledge or needing something or just somebody to pick your brain or how to figure out how to do something, man, Hooch is a dude, and he'll definitely, if you follow his lead, he'll lead you to the promised land. So you go on ahead and trust in him. And I would. I'd trust anything with him, especially when it comes to making money, making liquor. I trust Hooch with my life, and so, if you have any second guessing about it, don't like that. You got one of the good ones right there next to you. So, I hope that it takes off for you guys, and 10 years from now, you just killing it and all that. So, like I said, best of luck, and I put my faith in that man. Any moment, any day.
I said I would trust his cut making.
Yeah, he's definitely put some time in learning how to make cuts. So.
Hey, you do not have to worry about ever having a headache.
Hey,
you're damn right.
What size were those little sample glasses?
Yeah.
Did you bring those from home?
So I gotta know.
I run the 5, okay? I got like 100 of them lined up. Like, yeah, this one's got a little tank to it. Can't have that.
So when we first met Hooch, he was running a 10-gallon still.
Whoa.
5.
5? Oh, 5? All right, my bad. Making cuts in pint jars and only filling them up about halfway and making his cuts. So I'm intrigued. when you guys went to make his legal run, did he roll in with 400 pint jars? Because that's what we told him he was going in there with, was 400 pint jars to make all his cuts.
Hey, I
And you
did
guys
run
wanna
into
have
jars. Don't get
everywhere.
twisted.
Someone's called me that the other day.
I believe that. I believe you ran into jars, but were they jelly jars this time?
They were actually mason jars.
Oh, okay, full size jars. Nice. I see you've grown a little bit.
A little bit.
We actually considered bottling them in the mason jars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, yeah, you can brag about cuts until you get to tails, because I like dirty liquor. Everybody knows that. I like that pot still funk, as Alan
That's right.
would call it.
You didn't used to like it. I brought you over to the tail side, huh?
Yeah, that was purely easy for sure.
I'm gonna use that on my next TTB report, because when I dump out all the junk at the end of the run, because I don't reuse it, and I always you have to put a reason for why you dumped whatever it is you dumped, and I always just put stinky still water.
Stinky still
Pot
water.
still funk.
I'm gonna put pot still funk.
Pot still funk. It's a hell of a dance.
Kind of like a thump keg waltz. So.
Yeah, thump keg walks. Yeah, I'll do it.
No thumb keg waltz. That'll get you. As long as you don't wind up with 4-wheel drive, then it's an all right night.
That's the only right way to do it.
Been there
Especially-
more times than I'd like.
Especially right before you go on a TV show.
Hey, you was in 2-wheel drive. You wasn't in 4 yet at that time.
I was heading that way.
It was
You
close.
heading that way.
You saw that video. Sean
I
dug
want-
out Sean dug out the old video from the night before he did his run on Master Distiller when he was just plastered. He's sitting there trying. You see him on his phone, like, man, is he gonna fall? Is he gonna fall
I waited till I got to the hallway. That way I could just bounce off one wall
off
and
the wall?
make my way to the other.
I can't do that, or there's holes everywhere I bounced off the wall. Like, I'm too big to be bouncing off walls. I got to
Kind of
drywall pretty
like
easy.
Winter Jam, Sean, with the steps at the hotel.
He had his dad to help him up. Like, I will say, like, Sean was plastered at the Winter Jam, and Rick. And if you don't know Rick, like, Rick's a little guy. He's walking up behind Sean, and me and my old lady are sitting in the car watching Sean and Rick walk up the stairs. And I'm just like, look, man, if Sean falls backwards, Rick's dying too. Like, he can't stop him. It's just a little guy. Yeah, he'll break a hip, man, to put him down like a horse. Like, it was wild. It was a good time. So, after we hang out in at Mountain State, and like I said, it's beautiful there. It reminds me of my shop, especially when you go in the back, and it's it reminds me of my shop. I'll just say that.
Are you saying your shop's a disaster?
Yeah, my organization skills are about the same. Just like I told my old lady, like, don't pick my shit up, and I'll know where everything's at. The minute you touch something, I won't be able to be like, oh, go get that paper clip by the second dresser behind it on the right, next to the white shoe. Like, you touch my stuff, I don't know where it's at. So it might look like chaos, but it's definitely organized. Oh, it's just all up here. So Jeff treated us like family. We're just in and out, hanging out, and then we walk down the road to some restaurant, and he's like, they got good burgers. I'm like, you had me at cheeseburger, bro. Like, it doesn't take much. And so, like, we had a bite to eat, went back to Hooch's, and I'm like, all right, man, time to crack this jar open. So I pop his jar open, and we just start drinking, shooting the shit, talking shit. And Hooch is going to win that apple contest.
Bullshit.
What he said.
But we just it was a good time, man. Like, it was nice. I haven't been to Hooch's in a while, so it was really nice just to hang out all night and celebrate. It was just a celebration. And then at some point in the middle of the night, we talked a lot of TTB things, just liquor talk. Like, we bored the old ladies to sleep. They went to bed.
Yeah, that's all.
At like 11.
That's Jeff's knowledge coming out, man. I learned a lot just down there for that run. The knowledge I got from the TTB side of it and the paperwork side is honestly I mean, you can't find that anywhere online. You might know how to run a still, but you can't find that stuff.
That's what. Go ahead, Sean.
Oh, I was gonna say that. So when I got to work with Sugarlands, the little bit that I did, that was one of the things I really appreciated. Is even a big scale for us is not what you would call a big scale for them. You know what I mean? Like downtown Gatlinburg would be something huge for us, but it's not for a mid-sized distillery.
Yeah,
you know, and being able to work with them and going over the shit and weighing stuff and all that, like that was a very cool experience for me. Very cool and humbling. I mean, I learned a lot, you know.
My biggest thing was because I was lucky enough that I was able to design even my own label. So whenever I was sending it back and forth with Jeff and sending it for approval, that was really kind of humbling for me, as you know, all the little I's you have to dot and T's you got to cross in order to get that stuff shoved through and approved, and even so much as the size of text and different stuff like that. It was an experience. Let's just put it that way.
I gotta say, I don't pat myself on the back very often, but I submitted the formula to the TTB, and one time, no rejections, just you're done.
And that was the peach.
Yeah.
Now, when you say you submitted a formula, did you have to submit your entire process, like your entire mash process? Did your distilling process have to go into that at all?
It does.
Or was it just the mashing process?
No, it's from start to finish. When I do it, I put it all the way till, we filter this, we proof it down to this, we bottle it at this, and I do it step by step. I figure they've got enough formulas. They're not worried about mine. They're not stealing mine. So
yeah. See, like I'm just intrigued as the difference of submitting it through the states. Sean left. See you later, Sean.
Hey, I'm your co-host, Hooch. Nice to meet you.
Welcome to Still Talking Uncut. We co-host Big Easy, Hooch. Jeff's co-host tonight too. I bet there he is. He's back.
Oh shit.
Nice. Man, I thought I ended that whole fucking thing. I was like, I hit a button. I'm like,
no, we was actually enjoying.
If Stacy is watching, oh my god,
that's awesome. That's awesome. Sean don't technology real well.
I don't do anything real well, and if I do, it's generally on accident. I fuck it up, and it happens good.
So
every run I've ever done in my life.
Do what?
That sounds like every run I've ever done in my life.
Same. So we're at Hooch's and we're just we're drinking and we're talking and this and that, and then we get on the subject of what you can and can't put in afterwards, and he's like, "Oh, TTB flavored," and I'm like, "That's cool." And he's like, "Here, I got some," and then he starts popping them open. He's like, "Here, try this." And what was the chocolate? He's like, "Try this chocolate one." And I'm like, I gotta try it. I dump it all over the front of my shirt.
No surprise.
No surprise.
Yeah, a white shirt at that too. The chocolate.
Yeah. It was. I tell you what, man, it was a good time. So
yeah, it was. Man, I enjoyed having you here. That was a really fun night too, and like you said, we time traveled a little bit, good old time change.
Yeah. So we're drinking, and it's like, what is it? It's 1:30, and then like we go up into the room, up into the bar for a while, and come back out later, and it's like, man, it's 1:15. What happened? It's been like an hour. How the hell is it 1:15? It's like we had no idea. We just shrugged it off and went on about our day. And then about 5:30 in the morning, it's like, bro, I should probably go to bed.
Well, I looked over at the microwave and I was like, easy. It's 6:30, and you're like, no, it's not. It's 5:30. Oh shit.
Yeah, it was at the end of the night we realized that it was a time change. I totally forgot about it. But it was cool, man. It was a good time. So
It only happens a couple times a year. You got to take
Yeah.
advantage of it, right?
yeah, at least we gained an hour more. I don't think we needed an extra hour though, but it was definitely
Always
worth
need
it.
an extra hour.
So, Sean, didn't you guys stay in a hotel in Charleston? You guys did.
We stayed somewhere. I don't remember something. I can't remember what it's called. It was a nice place though. Cost an ass load of
Nice.
money because it was. I don't know what the fuck was going on there, but goddamn, it was busier than fuck.
Yeah.
I think there was. Yeah, I don't know.
Some
Maybe it was Tool that night, or no, the Tool concert was that night.
The
The
what?
night before, wasn't it? Or was it that night?
Yeah,
But there was something else. I know what you're talking about. I can't remember what it was. There's always like random stuff down there in Charleston sometimes at the Municipal Auditorium or the Civic Center. And then the WVU game was that night too.
Mhm.
There was.
So I gotta ask, actually, both of you guys. So you brought up turbo yeast. What is it about turbo yeast you don't like, and how long did it take you from the time you started to ferment, pitch the yeast, I guess, until you ran it?
So
I usually. Well, go ahead, Jack.
no, I was just gonna say, as far as whenever we pitched the yeast to the time running, that would have been him because he was the one down there every day watching it while I was doing my thing.
Well, there he goes. But no, I meant more so just the turbo yeast itself. Have you ever used it, Chad?
I have just read bad things. As far as actually using it, no. I was from day one. That was always beat into me from everything that I read. It's got too much nutrients in it. It's got too much different stuff. It's going to work too hard, give you off flavors.
That's it right there. I've tried it, years ago, and everything that I got off of it was just really, really harsh.
Yeah, like is it diammonium phosphate that's kind of a bad thing to stay away from. And then now I guess if he was running it through a plate system, multiple plates, and really stripping it out, I mean, that wouldn't matter. I don't know, but
that I couldn't tell you. I just know that I had a lot of people, like you say, a lot of people are like, yeah, I can get this high percentage, but it's what the old guys call it, angry liquor. It's like if you run it real hot, and just blaze it out real good.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I have used turbo yeast as nutrient before.
Did you kill it? Did you kill it first?
Did you boil it? No.
No, I had pitched my daddy or my Firm Solutions, whatever I'm going to use, and I didn't have any nutrients, so I cut a pack and just kind of barely sprinkled it after it was already going, just kind of before the nutrient that's in it.
How did that turn out?
I thought I didn't see any difference in it from anything else personally.
So go ahead.
You're good, Sean.
I was gonna say, so the one thing I have noticed over the years with turbo yeast, when I first started, I used it, and it was, well, I guess looking back now, it was fucking terrible. But
you don't know that,
Yeah, right. But anyway, but I've used it one time since, and the barrel sat for, I bet you 3 or 4 months. And when I went out there, it looked like fucking crystal clear water on top, and you could see down and look at the grain bed.
Had it gotten cold? Had it cold crashed on
Oh
you?
yeah, it was cold. But I ran it in easy. You tried it that time. It wasn't terrible.
I feel like it would probably a lot depend on what you're running and what you're looking for too.
Well, wait, no, you didn't. Hold on. No, you didn't try that. That was different. You tried something else. But yeah,
so picture this, or in my mind, and I might be completely talking out of turn, but in my mind, imagine using turbo or something that's going to work off that heavy in something like an apple. It's already light. You're just going to destroy everything that it's got. At least that's how it lines up in my head, and that might be completely false. But something maybe for a real heavy grain like a Jimmy Red, maybe some of that bad shit ain't gonna come across as much. I don't know. That's just.
I'm more so referring to like a straight sugar shine, nothing else.
Yeah. I
And
feel
you
like
know
there would
what?
be so much for them in that sugar shine. It would produce the off.
I've
Yeah.
never ever had any luck doing just a pure straight sugar shine.
As far as fermenting,
Yeah.
yeah,
pH crash on you.
yeah. I mean, pH and nutrients, and I tell there's there's a lot to them. Like you might as well just make it support shine and throw some Uncle Jesse's, throw some corn in it, and just do it like that. That's tried and true. That's where it's at. It's all about making that money.
The sugar shine that I did do that time, it was 2 pounds a gallon.
About 10%.
What the fuck? Oh, I had oyster shells, and it was a mile high.
Turbo,
yeah. And I had zero problems with it at all.
Now,
well, I mean, you know how shit is on the internet too. I mean, one person says something, and the next person is a parrot to it. I mean, hell, basically just like I did right here. I've never used it myself, and then by the time it gets down the line, old turbo's terrible. When in reality, is it really? I mean, there's so much of that shit. And
in my opinion, that along with like the brandy yeast, it's all got its place. Just like fucking distilling with jars and all that shit,
Yeah, like just because like I'm sure for some people they got turbo down and it's great and they can create good liquor with it. It's just like anything else, man.
Hey guys, I'll be right back.
Do your thing, Jeff. And just because it ain't for you doesn't mean it ain't for somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And my reference to turbo wasn't necessarily a kick in the throat to turbo. It was just the fact that was the first conversation me and Jeff had. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's one of those big things. It's like right there in the beginning. If you search anything distilling or hit any of these online forums, and don't even get me started about the Facebook groups. Use turbo yeast. What the? You know what I mean?
And, do you? If you like it and it works great for you, then do you? I just. I don't have a lot of experience with it, and it's just not my dig.
I know a lot of people out there run turbo yeast, and they will not say that.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
It's just
it's not me, but generally,
it's just like anything else, man. It's bread yeast ain't for everybody. Like I don't know how many people use bread yeast on their fruit. You don't hear that a whole lot. A lot of people switch to a different fruit type of yeast and this and that.
I feel like personally there's a whole lot of things out there that some very good distillers do that they don't admit to doing.
Oh, like sourcing liquor.
The absolute horrid backlash that comes from some of the community. That's my honest opinion.
That's a very good opinion.
And it's exactly what happens. That it's that way because maybe somebody would be able to learn something if people weren't so stuck in their ways. But
we had that conversation.
That's a different topic for a different time, right?
Joseph just asked, since there's so many better alternatives, why use it? You can't really define better. Like better is in the eyes of the beholder, realistically. So, like, while I think it's better for what I do, I think bread yeast is better for what I do because I like how it tastes.
A lot of
a
lot of people like to mix their shit. So if they want to mix their own shit, they may just run straight sugar. Fuck it, they want it done quick. That's what they got, or that's what they have on hand.
And it's some people. That's what they learn. That's what they learned on. It's just turbo, and it's tried and true for them, and that's what they use. So better is it's all perception. It's all it can be talked about different ways, and it's all about you. Like what's best for you. Like when we say what's best for you. And that's
9 times out of 10 too. Whenever you're telling these new distillers not to use turbo yeast because it'll make hot liquor or whatever the reason might be, is that really what made the hot liquor, or is it just the inexperience as a distiller? You know what I mean? Or is it something else that maybe?
I would say it's a mix of that.
Yeah, there's so many different variables that.
Yeah, so many different variables. I look at it like this, man. Try everything. Try it all. Try it all. Like. You see these guys, they ask about thumpers, and they're like, well, what's best to run in my thumper? And I'm like, well, it's a magical vessel, and you could put anything in it. Run it dry, run it with water, run it with mash, run it with tails, run it with flavor concentrate, run it with fresh fruit, run it with anything you want, And I suggest you go along the line and you do every single one of those and see which one your palate likes the best, because my palate's way different from Hooch's. I hand Hooch a bourbon and he's like, "Oh man, I really like this," and I'm like, I like
Hope
that
it's
clear.
apple brandy.
It
That's what my
tastes
mind
better out
goes.
of a glycerin glass. I just want to let you know. That's an inside joke of Jason still in here.
Glycerin glass.
We get it. Glycerin glass. It's so the legs
I
travel
should
down.
have wore my fuck
go
your
through
bourbon
real
call
nice.
shirt from Allen, but
At least you're wearing something, like easy as pants.
It's cold. I got sweatpants on, so there was
What a pussy.
West Virginia's in the house, man. I had to put pants on. You just never know. So.
No, and see, for me too, just talking about the yeast, I like a really long, slow ferment too. Like I'll set mid-70s. That's why I love running in the wintertime, because I actually have control of the shit then, instead of my building getting 95 degrees and just blowing to the top. You know what I mean?
4 days and it's done. I can see that. It's just cold, man. I hate fermenting cold.
And that's kind of like with me running a still too. Just slow. I feel like slow. If something's going wrong, if pH is crashing, I've got more time to fix it. Just like running a still, I run it slow because if something goes wrong, I've got more time to fix it.
It's like cooking ribs, man. The slower you cook them, the better they're going to be in the end, and you can make those little adjustments along the way.
Sean knows me.
But like for me, I'm like, hey, fuck all that. Let's get it done. Let's get it done.
Nah, and that's what's so cool about it too. There's so many different ways to do shit,
right? And like it's subjective, man. Like so many different ways. There's so many different ways to use different types of corn. Like I see Bennett and all them complaining about Jimmy Red because it's a little more oily. Well, Jimmy Red's an aging corn, man, in a barrel.
That shit
What you got to do with it? Got to throw it in a barrel.
Oh, look at
you know what, man?
He's got all kinds of cool shit on his, man. I ain't got nothing on mine.
When Bennett handed me that jar of apple brandy and Jimmy Red or whatever, I tasted that and I said, "Damn, that made me feel better about myself."
Jimmy Red just needs aged.
That shit is.
It's an agent. Like all the oils that's in it, it's oily, and like Bennett said, he put some in a barrel. I want to try it because I heard it brings out peanut butter. Silcott Rigsby's the epitome of late.
Yeah,
run it like you stole it.
That's right.
Turn it up. Feel like I've heard that a time or two. Just turn it up.
Turn that. Don't be a pussy.
I love it.
Don't be a pussy.
I remember those days. God, do I remember those days?
Oh yeah, don't be a pussy, man. Turn that up.
I love it when people post it like I've been running it like 180 degrees for 4 hours. I'm like, reach over and turn it up.
Like
number one, why does it matter what damn temperature you're at? Number two,
I'm not getting any liquor, so turn it up.
When you're first starting to distill, you don't really understand what you don't know until you go and you sit in on somebody else running their still who has, we'll just say, more experience than you, who have ran that still a lot more than you have, like who have been there, have been through the ups and the downs. And so you learn a lot about what you don't know that you thought you had mastered when you sit in on somebody and you just watch, and that's one of the, anytime I go somewhere and somebody's running a still, do I want to hop in and take over? Hell yeah, that's just my nature. But I like to sit, I like to watch, see how somebody does something, because then you can pick up things, you can pick up small things here and there, and you're like, oh man, I didn't think about that. And then you incorporate that in what you do, and all of a sudden your product is just so much better from the small things you picked up from another distiller. It's no different than watching a video.
Yeah, honestly, that's why. So obviously there were some other reasons why I didn't run the still at your place whenever I brought up the wheat mash. But it was cool too to sit back and see your cuts and your process doing it all.
How was the ferment on that? How was the ferment on that?
Well, the ferment went like this. It was, well, I'll just tell you the best way to picture it. The best way to picture it would be to picture Sean Rigsby and a worm bucket.
Just overflowing, huh?
And what happens at the top of that is basically what happened to the fermenter.
I'm out of here.
You set yourself up for that. That's awesome, Hooch. In case somebody knows, Sean flooded his worm about 4 times in like 30 minutes, and he just couldn't get it dialed in right, man. So now he's Captain Flood.
Now listen, and let me explain something. It wasn't about dialing in at the time. I've got a bad habit with a bigger, like a 50-gallon worm barrel, because there's so much water in it, right? I fill the motherfucker up, and I just shut the water off where it's coming in. I let it warm up, and then I turn it on, let it cycle. When you go from a 50 to half that shit gets fucking hot fast.
You gotta keep it rolling.
And I turn it on. Oh yeah. Fuck. And then all of a sudden I go from 2 quarts to 3 gallons.
Yeah, worm proof. We call that worm proof. Your worm is proofing your liquor for you.
Then there's a fucking problem.
Have a great night, Lisa.
A enclosed worm would fix that.
I don't know. He would probably.
So you blow a fucking hole in it.
Yeah, he'd blow a hole.
Yeah,
in it.
you can't do that.
Did I tell you about that?
He'd not open the top valve and not let the
Luckily,
air
some of them come with pressure relief now. But the other thing you got to watch is you close the top valve and you turn your garden hose off. Say you go unhook it from the house or wherever you got it.
So what you're saying is, if you've got an enclosed worm, you need a Landry valve on that one too.
You need to treat it like you would your still when you're shutting down or starting up.
and under no circumstance, if you have a sight glass in there, is it okay to pop that tri-clamp off and let the air bubble out?
Why not?
Do not do that. Well, we watched somebody on live do it one night.
Was there? Did I miss this?
Yeah, they pulled a Rigsby and flooded it.
Hold on.
So
who did this?
It was your boy Shua.
Was it really?
Oh yeah.
No.
Now he was drinking, I think, pretty heavily that night, but the air bubble forms up in the sight glass where he was going to make sure, to get that air bubble out so he could see down in there better or whatever it was.
Pop that tri-clamp off to let the air out.
You're kidding me, right?
No, it was amazing. So,
oh man,
it was pretty funny. And then he even got mops in the mail, kind of like the tarp incident. So it was
mops and tarps.
It was a funny laugh.
I'm still wondering why nobody sent Hooch floor tiles. I'm surprised Hooch didn't get floor tiles in the mail.
That was kind of.
It is never too late.
You damn right. Is that spot still bare?
No, I got new tiles on it.
No,
unfortunately, I had to pay for them myself.
I guess you're not big enough if people don't send you shit for your fuck ups, huh?
I know. I need more followers.
I know the feeling, motherfucker.
Know the feeling, huh? Man.
No, that jet burner. Whew.
You don't have that anymore, do you? That went to Noble, didn't it?
Yeah, Noble. Noble
I think that had something to do with this beautiful banana brandy right here.
It did. So actually, he got a 55-gallon drum from me that I got from Sean, and
that Sean got from Matt motherfucking Brown.
The Matt Brown.
The Matt.
Thanks,
so it's cool when it's cool to see that stuff. You got your buddies, and you help them with their setups, and then all of a sudden you see them running. You see him running your shit you built, just like Hooch ran the Flatlander inside the distillery.
That's what I was getting ready to say, man. That peach brandy tastes different to me.
Yeah, it hits differently. It hits differently. It's your boy finally got his legal label out, and like I said, if you know how hard it was and what the dude went through. So, of course, you celebrate that for him, man. And you just have that great time, and that's what it's about.
Well, I for sure appreciate it, Joel. That's for damn sure. What number did you end up with, Sean? What number bottle?
I got 5. That's the one I drank.
Yeah, I know. I wish we could have planned it out where you had 4. I never even thought about it.
I'm going number 5.
But it was cool because
So 4 was the one that I got originally. I grabbed 4, and I walked up there, and he's like, "No, I got this for you, number 3."
Nice.
I'm like,
Sean's probably got 4.
Yeah.
No, I don't. Because I walked away, and then later on that evening was when I asked you if we could buy a couple more, because Bennett actually received his today. He took delivery on it.
Nice.
So, I figured I would not.
I'm anxious to see what he thinks, and then obviously too, when batch 2 gets going, Lord willing, and the water don't rise, that we can find some peaches and get that going before the end of the year. That would be amazing, because I felt bad there wasn't very much to go around, but also I had to take care of my boys that came down there.
That, and like we talked about earlier, man. Jeff put his neck on the line, went out on a limb.
Exactly.
Like, let's be for real. If I'm running a distillery and you come to me, I have no fucking idea who you are, and you talking about these folks that I've heard of or seen. I think you're full of shit still, and we get to where I put my name on the line, put myself on the line for you. Well, we're not going to jump in with 100 gallons. Like, we're not going to run 100 gallons and put out all this money. Like, let's keep it small and let's see how it goes, and which, I guarantee, after looking back, it's like, goddamn, I should have ran a 50-gallon still, but that's neither here nor there.
Or better. Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there. But, in the future, it's going to be different, because I guarantee you've already got people. I'm over here like, bro, I need 10. I got people that asking me about them, like, so let us know when it comes out again.
I've got a list of probably a case and a half at least of people that are just, and I feel bad. You feel bad, but it is
what
with what you got, and that's just what we had. And
dude, brother, there's people that either I know and family that's like, hey, is there any way I can still get a jar of that? I'm like, they're sold out, and I ain't got no more to give away. I've got what I'm obligated to have that people wanted me to get, and they just haven't got with me yet. But I feel your.
Sorry about that, guys. I had
thank you.
Some guys came knocking on the door, and they wanted to buy some shine. So
hey, you got to sell the liquor, man.
I can't turn people away.
You never turn down liquor, so duty calls. That's all. We was just talking bad about you while you was gone anyway. So now that you're back, we'll.
See, I usually give people that 10, 15 minutes to just bad mouth me to no end, so that they don't have to hear it.
Well, we'll carry it over while you're back. Like
I can take it.
Like I think you should adopt the Big Easy hairstyle and just shave it all off. That's my day. You need to get with the Big Easy.
Hey, I'm there, man.
And just see, man, you might as well join us over. Leave your hat on, Sean. Nobody wants to see your full head of hair, asshole.
What full head of hair? I don't see no full head of hair. Do you guys see
Sean's built like a Wookiee, like
I can't even grow hair on my face. What makes you think I can grow it on my head?
Sean evolved from a Wookiee. I can only grow gray hair on my face, and
the only thing I'm missing is overalls, baby.
Go put your
and good liquor.
Go put your brown. It's because you don't. I'm sure you got a jar. You got a jar of Hooch's liquor over there.
I got to
get
up there.
Caramel apple, man. Like, let me know when you want to come up, man, and I'll meet you there. So
yeah, that's what right in the middle between us, right?
Yeah. So when I drove down, it was an hour and 15 minutes for me, and then from there to Charleston, it was 3 hours and 10 minutes. Or 2 hours and 10 minutes. So, like, from my house to Charleston, it was 3.5 hours. So I lost like 30 minutes to stop.
Hooch, how close are you to Ripley?
Ohio or
West Virginia. We drove through there on our way to Charleston.
20 minutes.
Okay, it's not bad.
I mean, that's where I used to work. I mean, that's my hometown basically. I just live out in BFE from there.
So it looks like we're going to have to meet you in Pittsburgh at JJ's. We'll have to go by JJ's.
If we do it on a Monday, I might be able to get – wait a minute, he's on this side. I might be able to get this guy.
Hey, let's plan that shit.
I don't even know. There we go.
Yeah, it's backwards. So it's only 5 hours for me. So it takes 5 hours for me to get to Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, I think, is around 3, 4, somewhere around there.
Nice.
Like four.
It's about a good 4.5 for me.
JJ makes some good blue corn, man. I tried that when I was at
that malted
Farm
blue.
to Bottle.
I got a bottle of it. Some really good liquor. Like I said, I love it when it's it's small, and you can definitely taste the difference in the love. It's all about the love. Like last night I was on live, I'm beating apples with a 2x4, and all these guys are just busting my balls about it. Like, get you a chipper, get you a
fucking
press,
sledgehammer.
Yeah, get you a smack, get you a smack, whatever. And I'm like, nah, bro, this is the love. And I'm just beating it with this 2x4. Like, man, this is how I do my brandy. I beat my brandy with a 2x4.
Two hands at a time.
You're damn right, 2 hands. It's usually just a little 2x4s, Sean, little 2x4s, and it's that's just how it is. It's like that's how I do it. So if I'm gonna make me a brandy, I'm gonna do it the hard way. It wouldn't matter if I rolled into a distillery and I was doing 100-gallon mash. You'll see my ass over there beating them peaches or beating them apples with a 2x4, and that's the way I'm gonna do it.
Because heritage.
We sat down here for now. I guess we probably cheated a little bit. I used a drill with the little thing.
Paint mixer.
Oh, I use that at the end. Once after I enzyme it and all that, I throw my drill on there with the sharpened ends on it.
Oh, all that talk, but I throw it on there at the end.
Oh, that's different,
We sat back there and we cut these stupid peaches up one at a time, and
that's how it is.
But if you taste peach brandy like that, and you taste peach brandy with say canned peaches, I don't know about you guys. Yeah,
or puree.
You can definitely taste and smell the difference.
There's such a difference
that
between
corn syrup that's in the cans and stuff. They can them things in.
You just get that fresh smell.
Yeah,
it's almost it's like any. I don't know really how to explain it, but it's like blueberries or something. Somebody expects when you have a blueberry shine or something like that they're going to be, eating blueberry candy. And
when we get off here, Jeff, I need you to text me the address of somewhere, and I'll get you some of that.
Oh yeah, I know what he's talking about. But yeah, people, whenever they think brandy, they automatically think what they're biting into. And with peach, it's more of a, I don't know, how would you explain it? Like a
character,
diacetyl, like a popcorny type. I don't know. It's weird unless you do what me and Jeff did and infuse the hell out of it. That's basically what was done.
Yeah, you're trying to impart those aromas into it to trick your palate into tasting what's not there.
Yeah,
and like when you drink what Hooch made while the state or TTB made him call it moonshine, in our legal world we're calling that brandy. It's a brandy to us. Just because he added sugar to the peaches, to us it's still a brandy. Legally they won't let them call it a brandy, but to us that's a hillbilly style brandy. And when you're drinking this, it's something that you have to sip on. The more you sip on it, the more pronounced the peaches become.
That's the truth.
It's not supposed to be candy, and it's when you make something with infusion, it's more enjoyed and more respected by as opposed to a college kid that comes in and they hear peach, they want peach post flavored. It's a gentleman's drink, like
or slices of peaches in the jar.
Yes. Me and Hooch talked about, movies. They want to go in a cigar room, have a cigar, and have a glass of brandy. It's a gentleman's drink, and I always say, brandy is a fine lady, and she should be treated as such. Treat her like a fine woman, because that's what she is. She ain't made for shooting. She ain't made for mixing. It ain't made for chugging. It's made to be, treated finely, sipping whiskey.
Yeah, man. Honestly, you're the one that taught me that whenever you was here, because I tried that my own peach, or whatever you want to call it, Mountain States peach, our peach, on ice, and I was like, holy shit. this is how this is supposed to be.
That's fucking terrible. I don't know why.
Sean, I don't care what you say. It was good, and my apple's good.
I just don't like anything clear with ice. I like to drink it the way it was made to be drank. In my opinion, that's my opinion.
Do you like it warm? Do you like it warm? Do you like it warm, or do you like it out of the freezer?
No, if it's brandy, I like it warm.
Okay.
If it's the shit that come from Sugarlands, I like it out of the freezer because it really tones the wheat down.
It's a gentlewoman's drink too, Lisa. We didn't mean that. We just from the old movies. It was always, the gentlemen are going to the drink room.
It ain't vodka, so
yeah, we were pretty drunk. Yeah, we were pretty hammered, just talking shit and shooting the shit. But
this guy a minute ago said that he lets his peaches get so ripe you can just squeeze the seeds out of them. We had some that
I'll be right back.
We had sat in here for a bit, and well, they got moldy, so we didn't want to use those. And I put them in a bag, took them out here. I kid you not, took them out here and hung them on the side of a trash can, the city trash can here. It wasn't an hour later, some dude comes by and off with the peaches he goes.
He got drunk, like he saw some rotten fermented peaches, man. He was good to go.
he was we'll call him a displaced citizen. But
just getting by,
Yeah, and I knew that there was some peach, a lot of it's still edible.
Oh yeah.
Just didn't want to go through the hassle of it. So I'm like, well, you know what? I'm just going to set them out here. And, if somebody wants, some dude come by and took the whole bag.
It was half fermented in the bag before he got them. So
he probably
he got him a little hooch, a little prison hooch.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did. That's awesome. So y'all got on the yeast subject while I was gone. Did they ask you what type of yeast you like to use, Jeff?
For shine, just straight shine, I always use just dry active, daddy yeast.
Phil.
Now for the peach shine, I used a little bit of champagne yeast. Not much, but I did put a little bit of that in there.
Now, are you talking about when you did a peach shine, you use the champagne yeast, or when for Hooch's run, you guys use the champagne yeast?
Yeah, okay. on Hooch's.
And is that the only type of yeast you use on that Hooch was the champagne yeast, or did you add in any other type?
It was a co-pitch.
Okay. Nice.
But other than that, I don't really. Once I get a decent flavor out of something, I leave the. I don't try to mess with much with yeast. There's just so many out there that
there is a lot now. Yep. There's so many to choose from, and like you said, if you make something and you're like, oh man, that's good, like I'm gonna change that. I'm gonna try to duplicate that to the best possible, and just like anything else, what works best for you. What works best for you. Just do that.
Yeah, and like when you all were down here, I'm sure I told you all when you were here, I wish I would have had you guys years ago, because the ideas that I got just in, a couple of hours of hanging out with you all, I'm sitting here wanting to try a dozen different ways to make shine. But,
yeah.
Doing it the way I'm doing it, people come to expect a flavor. And as much as I would like to, one of you all were talking about throwing or reusing the corn and
sour mash. I was talking about using your corn a little bit. Sean,
Yeah.
your mic's muted.
Yeah, and I want to, but I'm just afraid that it's going to throw it off.
It'll be a little different.
That's one thing I was going to ask. Have you ever thought about dabbling into like flavors, like post flavored stuff, aside of just like barrel age and stuff like that?
And we know you got the apple pie. Like you do have an apple pie on your shelf.
I do the apple pie, and I do it's called a spiked candy cane for the holidays,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just peppermint.
Mm-hmm.
I used to make a blackberry that was completely post distillation flavored.
Mm-hmm.
But I did it similarly. I crushed up all the blackberries, all that manual stuff, and I let it set. But then I filter all that junk out,
Mm-hmm.
and it was good.
Ain't nothing like fresh fruit, man, and the flavor's what sells. Like
It really is.
That's what the ladies want, man. They want that blackberry. They want that sour apple. They want that apple pie, and like last week Danielle said, like 70% of your sales are women.
Yeah, you got to market to the women. That's
that's who
It's
buys
true.
the liquor. Yep.
The guys might pay for it, but the women want it. The women buy it.
The men want what the women want, so the man's going to buy it too, but he's going to drink twice as much. He's going to go through 2 jars.
The cool thing is to have
she goes through a jar.
That's going to hit both palates, right? So you've got the real sweet stuff for her, and maybe you've got a whiskey, which you've already got, or
corn liquor
or something. It's men words, manly, rather than
Oh yeah, and dude wants 100 proof. He's like, boy's like, hey man, check out, I got this jar of 100 proof moonshine. Let's get fucking drunk.
But you have some people that go in there and they know what they're drinking, and they walk in there and they're like, oh well, you got this shit, you got peach moonshine. Like, is that post flavored? And you're like, no. And they're like, oh, so it's fermented with peaches. And that in my opinion is the closest thing to post flavored you can get, aside of barrel age, what you do.
Yep.
And that
confusing.
I don't even really know why I've always had that thought of wanting to keep everything as natural as possible. And I know that with post flavoring with fruit doesn't really go against that, because it's fruit. Yeah. But as far as
it's the purest, man. Like it's the purest part of it.
I've been to so many craft distilleries, and all they do is they make their shine and then they just flavor it with some kind of a flavor oil. And to me, that's just not.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's not how I want to do it.
I agree. Yeah. When I go to a distillery, any distillery, doesn't matter who it is, and they're like, hey, what do you want to try? We got all these flavors. First thing I want to try is their clear grain or brandy or whatever it is. Rum, it don't matter. Yeah. I like to taste what I know is coming out of their still.
Yeah. But on the flip side, the next 99 people that come in behind you, they want to taste that post flavor. They want that candy, and like even for us, like we're see ourselves as purists. Like I like my liquor clear, unflavored, infused, but if when it comes down to dollars and cents, man, it's like what do I got to do? And if I got a post flavor to sell to the ladies to make me $1 million, well, you bet your ass I'll show as much leg as it takes.
You've got to have that stuff. With me, I'm the same way. You walk in, the first thing you want to taste is the clear. You want the unadulterated, exactly what it is. There's no hiding shit in that. It's clear. Yep. You want to try that. And then for me personally, being an aged liquor fan, the next thing I want to try is anything aged. And then my first question is always, is it sourced?
Yep.
Or if it is, if it is distilled off site and brought in, is it your own recipe that you worked on with a distillery, or did you go to MGP or somewhere and buy this fucking barrel?
are you at least aging it in house so that you have the control over it? Like you know that's
control over the mash bill, control over the barrel, not just
or
going in
redistilling.
Yes.
Oh, this one tastes good.
Yeah, it's never been any secret that the only thing that any of my products, the only thing that I don't distill is my Southern Blend bourbon whiskey. Never have. I don't really have room to do. If you're going to do a bourbon, I don't have my biggest still is 50 gallons, so I'm not going to get enough to really make a true single batch.
So are you?
Go ahead, Sean.
I was gonna say, are you running electric on that?
Yes.
Is that your heat?
Yeah.
2 elements?
Yeah.
Have you ran fire or propane before that, or is that
outside of here I did, but the city wouldn't let me use open flame in here.
Damn city. I want to build a fire inside. I want to build a fire pit inside, bring in wood.
Yeah, I just wanted a smoker fire.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
But other than that, like even when I first started doing my shine here, which was that was the reason I opened the place to begin with. It wasn't for the bourbon or anything. That just kind of came out of a necessity. But and yes, I do age it here. You know, when I get it, it's crystal clear.
While you're talking about that, tell us about your aging room.
Aging rum?
No, your room where your barrels are. Tell us about your barrel room.
You know, so for the most part, I used to have a bunch of barrels lined up towards the back of the where you go into the production area.
Are you talking 53-gallon barrels, or are you trying?
Yes.
You're like, okay,
big barrels.
And but as far as an actual room, they weren't even in the technically bonded area. But I had a lot of them, and I didn't have anywhere to put them. So I figured if somebody was going to come in here and steal a 462-pound barrel of whiskey,
hey,
what am I got?
But where's the one you got now?
Yeah, where are you storing your barrels? What type of room is it?
It is an old antique safe.
Like a bank safe, right?
This building used to be a bank.
That's where I'm getting.
That's cool
to.
as fuck.
That's where I'm getting to. So it's Distillery's inside an old bank, and it uses the old vault, right? The old vault like as your barrel room. So that's where I was leading to slowly.
Yeah, I can usually I'll usually have about 3 barrels in there. It's about all that'll fit. That's as big as a vault was back then. And everything else just sat out here by the windows. And
nice.
I still think we need to get change production a little bit and get some grain going, because a whole lot of 15s and 10s would fit in there, and we could do a whole new line and call it the Vault.
Well, and not only that, it wouldn't take near as long to age.
Exactly. Turnaround would be way quicker.
I've also got that loft upstairs where I can just.
Oh man, we could have the Vault. We could have the loft.
The loft.
You could market You could market the ass off that thing.
The bank.
I'm definitely. I'm down for it. I think what you all were talking about the post flavoring a little bit ago. I think that I'm going to have to, if I want to be able to sustain, I gotta. I'm going to have to do some of the stuff like I used to do.
I observe a lot when I go to places, and in the crowd outside, the crowd that walks past, like that what I seen down there, that it screams post flavored. It screams blackberry. It screams. It definitely still has your bourbon and your clear liquor, but just for the groups of people that we seen down there when we went and walked and had dinner and just hanging out and passing jars out by the river and just seeing the people walking past, big lettering that says free moonshine samples. Then they get them in there, and the ladies try some really good blackberry. They're going to buy it. You know, the men, they try that corn liquor, they try that infused peach, and they're like, man, this is right. Especially, you know, tell your story, man. And you love what you do. Let people know why you love what you do, and it goes a long, long way. So,
Yeah, I believe you. I think that people, in general, I believe people want to stick with somebody that is more genuine to their craft. I'm not a fan of people just go on and, they got a lot of money and they just buy a bunch of equipment, and next thing you know, you're a distillery. You haven't distilled, but you're a distillery.
Yep. I really appreciate, when I was talking to Hooch and he was like, well, we're only doing a 26 gallon batch. I gave him shit about it, but that's what we do. But on the other end of that, it makes his more special than mine. Even I won a show. I got a run with Sugarlands. It was like 1,182 jars. But the fact that, but the fact that his was an actual small batch, that is fucking important. I mean, it's just, you know what I mean? I don't know how to really say it,
definitely
more special.
Yeah. Whenever I hear like you guys say that something's good about it too, and say good things about it and reviews about it, it also sets in my mind a little bit knowing that there's only X in that amount of bottles that's out there. And I mean, that's basically it until batch 2 comes along, and who knows, there'll be some different tasting notes in batch 2 than it was in batch 1, because
it'll never be the same
craft small batch spirit. So
nope.
Yeah, and that's something that a lot of people don't get. Every single, even if you're going to Jack Daniels or somewhere like that, their barrels, each barrel is going to have a little bit different flavor to it. Yep. But where they blend them, they can get them a lot closer.
Well, and that's also why they use artificial color and artificial flavor for consistency.
Yep.
Yeah.
Whereas not on any one of your labels sitting in your place does it say, except maybe the apple pie, it's artificial flavors or colors or anything like that. It's all just, it's legit straight liquor. So that's a big difference. And like you said, I'm sure you're going to do things a little differently on the second run. You're going to be a little bit more at ease than you were on the first one, because I imagine that first run, he was tight.
Definitely uptight.
I was tight, like it's.
Well, I mean, I had showed up to a dude's distillery, and I mean, hell, he don't really. I mean, he's got to know me, but he don't know me from Adam, and I'm back here messing with everything, and I don't know. It was just.
The funny.
Since then, I don't feel bad now, Jeff. I'll just go back here and do whatever the hell I want. But
I've said, hey.
The funny thing is, though, the whole time after you brung this up to me and Easy, we're both like, we know it's gonna be good.
Oh yeah, the whole time. He's asking us about shit, and we're like, man, just run that shit, bro. It's gonna be amazing. I know it is.
Like, you know me, I don't personally like much of anything that I make.
You should.
I pick it apart.
You should. Like the peach brandy I handed you, I'm like, I like it. It could be better. There you go.
No, I thought this. So I'm not saying that I thought it was bad. I pick little things out that other people wouldn't. I'm just
when you're satisfied with what you do, then
that's when you stop.
You're not going to strive to be better, and that's something personal inside of you, to where it doesn't matter how good it is. You're going to be like, I don't like that. Oh, dude, I don't like that. I don't like that.
But when you can drink it and not complain too much, that's all right.
Here's one way that I look at it. Every time I do a different batch and I put it on the shelf, I'm always concerned. I'm like, man, was this batch as good? Is it are people going to come in and be like, oh, that sucks? And then, that's that. But they are
definitely.
I try to keep things consistent, but I always I'm always concerned that whatever I make isn't going to be good enough.
It's your name. That's your name. Like I made this. There's no being like, well, this happened or this. Like, look, man, I made this and I'm giving this to you. So, I wouldn't hand out anything that I wouldn't drink myself. I'm not going to be like, oh, that is so terrible. And I'll be like, you know what? I don't care. Give me my money. And it's like, sometimes you just got to start over, man.
Yeah, if people only knew the amount of runs in my lifetime that you guys never knew high nor hair of, you'd be amazed at the stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying this and I ain't gonna let nobody know. And then not only that, the one time, just like you said, the one time that you're like, I make the best liquor on the East Coast or whatever, and we'll joke about that. But the one time you're actually serious, stop making liquor. Please.
I don't think any of us have
That'll
ever
never
made
be
that
me.
joke to each other. Like,
Yeah.
I don't remember any of us ever saying, even joking, like, oh, I make the best liquor, or my liquor's better than his, or my liquor's better. Like, we don't even make that joke just because I can't bring myself to say it about myself, Like, that's just not my dig. I'll be like, this is pretty good.
Except for about apple brandy competitions. I will do that.
Oh, that's just shit talking between boys. That's different. We can't hear you, Sean. I think you muted yourself again.
It's going to be the number one tire fire.
Yeah, number one. No, I'm shooting for the tire fire trophy.
The only way you get a trophy in this competition is first or last. So I'm going for last.
I'm just turning in heads. It's all heads.
I generally do pretty decent when it's my first run or whatever it is.
Yeah, I'll give you that, Mr. Vodka. I'll give you that.
I've heard them all call you Mr. Vodka and
Infused vodka man.
Stuff. And that's what you did on the show, right?
So we used copper pots with thumpers or doublers, whatever you want to call them, and worms. So it was a vodka episode, but we really didn't run vodka. I ran it 3 times. I ran it twice. A spirit or stripping is what they called it, and a spirit run and an infusion run, which they didn't really like it when I said, why the fuck am I doing a fucking stripping run? Just let me run it one time and infuse it and be done.
Yeah, fill that time.
Thanks, buddy.
Yep. Jeff, I've got some extra bottles of his legal label. I'll bring you one down.
I'd definitely like to try it out.
Don't expect any kind of berry flavor, especially compared to Hooch's peach.
But that's the difference between jars and a gin basket. You know?
And we did. You can ask Jeff. We changed them jars out halfway through, or actually closer to the end of that run too, because we just wasn't happy with it, and we're like, nah, let's change it. Let's go.
the old sketchy thing. Like, I don't recommend that to beginners. Do not pull jars off of your jar rig unless you like sketchy shit. And
unless you're on electric and no cigarette, and who cares?
That's right. I don't know what that's about. I'm a flame guy, so
I'll let Chad do all that with the jars because I was scared to death of breaking one of them.
It was cool
how
that run played out, because I feel like you, Jeff, had a lot to do with the mashing side of it. I mean, basically it was your recipe. I was just there helping, and then I put my touch on it with the infusion. So it was like the best of both worlds, I feel like.
I think I told you a dozen times, I think we did a good thing. The reason I was asking about vodka is because I have people in here constantly saying, do you make a vodka, or are you going to make a vodka? But I cannot in any way compete with these other vodkas. I go into these bars here and they tell me, oh yeah, you make vodka. Every bar in town will carry it. Well, no, they won't, because I'd have to charge so much for it because my batches are so small. And I can't.
So when you make vodka, then let me ask, what ingredients do you use?
I don't make vodka.
So what?
Say you were going to make a vodka.
Yeah.
What would you ideally make it out of?
I would like to, do it the old way and make it out of potatoes or something, because vodka should not have a flavor profile, and potatoes in their raw form don't really have much flavor at all. But you get so little yield out of a potato.
So how many plates do you have?
4.
In the deflager, right?
Yeah.
So what's to say you used your normal corn liquor recipe? Can you get 190 out of that?
I have before, yes.
Now, you're running it so much, and like Tito's is a corn-based vodka.
The least told, or whatever you call it, Alan told me the other day. It's a secret, I guess, or whatever, but fucking activated charcoal, you can just about filter every flavor out of it.
The thing you got to remember, though, with vodka is, there's easy ways to do that. But with vodka, can a small distillery compete with this bottom shelf vodka that these bars are carrying? Like, it's going to have to be, number one, a craft vodka.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to market it as such to get your money for it. And number two, you're going to have special cocktails at the bars to get them to use that craft vodka, not this one off the bottom shelf that they're grabbing that might taste like tire fire, but mixed into this fruit juice, it tastes great off the bar. You know what I mean?
Well,
that's the big problem is beating that price.
What if you're not thinking about, being in bars or being in stores? You have vodka inside your place. Like you have a vodka on your shelf. Somebody comes in. Like I said, it's about connecting with you. They're going to get that vodka. And like you got 4 plates. That might be something you use second gen of your corn for. You don't want to change the flavor of your corn liquor. So now let's do a second run, a semi-sour mash before it gets sour. Reuse that corn to make vodka with, even if you've got to do a stripping run and then a spirit run, and just a cheaper way for you to for one reuse that corn and stretch it, and it makes your mash bill on your vodka cheaper. That could be a way just to have.
You've also got your tails and your heads and different stuff like that. Not your 4 shots, your heads is what I'm talking about here. That you can save back and also rerun and really strip out and strip everything and get some good liquor out of it. You can really clean that stuff up. So.
Yep. So like, if you're not saving your tails now from all your runs, you could save them all up and do you a big tails run and make you vodka out of that.
I do keep them, and eventually I blend it in with, when I get enough, I'll blend it in with my regular shine.
Yeah, when you're running.
Yeah, bump that pot up. So sometimes they're good to have when you need to bump that pot up. Mm-hmm. So
yeah,
it's we're just sitting here shooting shit, bouncing ideas, talking. This is like
I gotta say, man, I wish I'd have known y'all years ago, because I could use all these. Used all these ideas.
We do this all the time. Like we bounce ideas, we talk liquor, and if you don't have groups of friends that you're in a group chat and you're bouncing ideas and talking liquor to, get you one. If you want one, exchange numbers with me and Sean. We'll put you in a group with us. You'll probably leave after a few days, but
I looked at my phone and there was like 158 messages the other day, just to put that into perspective. Like it's 24
here for you.
6-5 does not stop.
And it's not always shit talking. Like, like there's good quality stuff that comes out of this. And we're like, what about this? And what
not
about
out
that?
Of my mouth, but yeah.
Well, not Sean. Like he's always asking us, how not to proof with your worms. So, or
all I do is
open a valve on a shotgun.
Hey man,
slow to run, and let's see what all else do I do wrong. And I'm a Gen Z or whatever they want to call it.
Yeah, appreciate what it is, man. I'm just a city dude. I don't know shit. Coattail riding, non-distilling. We all got our vices. It is what it is. But at the end of the day, we're all family, man. And we all love each other. And
Well,
I
I
think
can promise you, if I was in a group like that, it wouldn't be as. I asked Chad if this was going to be a PG or an R-rated thing, and he said, "This is uncut, man. Whatever." But my text wouldn't be as PG.
yeah, you got
You
a
ain't
little.
seen ours, brother.
I gave him a little taste a little bit ago when Sean put us all four in that chat, and I'm like, oh yeah, maybe a little bit of this. So,
that's the beauty of it is just everybody does things their own way. So if there's 50 people, just say in this chat that does, so if you ask one question, if you get 25 different responses or different ways of doing it, then you've got way more fucking ways, So if you have an open mind, that's the best part about it. If you don't want to do it, if you have 100-gallon still and you have a 5-gallon still, you don't want to do it on the 100, but you want to do it on the 5.
Yeah. Test batch.
You can make fucking a total fucking mash, 300 gallons, and then you can do as many test batches as you want on the 5.
R&D,
That's true.
research and destruction. Sometimes you got to break shit, you got to mess shit up. You learn so much more from a failure than you do a success.
Dude, I'm telling you. So when I got the call to be on Master Distiller, and they said, "Hey, how do you feel about doing vodka?" I was like, "Well, I've never done it, but I guess if that's my only way on, I'll figure it out."
You don't know me. I'll ferment anything. You know?
But like I was talking to Hooch earlier about Mr. Bishop. He's a hell of a guy. So what I do, I leaned on him a little bit. I said, "Hey, I know vodka's made out of potatoes, but like, what's really vodka made out of? What are these other distilleries that don't source it? What do they make it out of?" And he's like, "Well, they make it out of wheat, they make it out of corn." And I'm like, "Well, what kind of wheat? Because that's not really my thing. I wanted to do something different." And he's like, "Well, mainly most of them use red wheat." I was like, "Okay, well, that's not me. I'm not going to do that." I said, "Well," so I went up, I got some wheat bran, and I got me some white wheat malt, or malted white wheat. And the wheat bran I dumped out. I tried that, dumped out. And I was like, "Well, I didn't get a chance to run the other batch," so I'm like, "Well, this is what I'm going to run." I went down there and I ran it, and I'm like, "Okay, it's earthy as fuck, but I guess this is what I got."
Hey, I've had the pleasure to taste both, and while I do think what was off the show,
neither one of them are good.
Well, what was off the show was better. I will give you that. It wasn't as grain forward, I feel like.
Do what?
But
you can go ahead.
No, you're good. That's all I had.
That's all you had. You just ended mid sentence. Who just ends mid sentence?
Yeah.
But all right, we've had everybody on here a couple hours. If anybody's still watching, man, we love all y'all. We appreciate y'all hanging out with us. It was a good time. We definitely appreciate you giving us your time, Jeff.
But do not get off here when we back.
Yeah, stick around when the real shit show starts.
Hey, did we hit a still talking record for 2 hours?
No, we had Alan Bishop on here for like 2.5. Almost.
Oh, okay. 3. Well, he can be ahead of me. That's perfectly all right.
Good. Yeah, you're one of the few 2-hour shows. So
that's the guy from
Richard. I got you.
Indiana.
Do what?
Is that the guy from Indiana?
Yep.
Yes.
French Lick.
Hey Jeff, I actually ordered 3 different lines of his liquor. I was able to find a place that would ship it over here, so I'll bring it down when I get it. We'll do a taste.
What'd you get?
I got the apple brandy.
2-year or 4-year?
I think it was the 4.
Mine's a 2. That's what I was wondering.
I happen to be sitting in front of this computer, so I'll just tell you.
So yeah, I shoot. Richmond, Indiana's 30 minutes for me, so I shoot right over there. And we go to Shelton Fireworks right there. Anytime we go, I hit up the liquor store there, man. And I'm like, and I leave the old lady in the car because I don't want her to know that I'm about to buy 4 or 5 bottles that are like $50 or $60 a piece.
So I've got the 2-year apple brandy, the Manny Gladden, and the Lee W. Sinclair.
You'll like all those. The Lee W. Sinclair, I believe, is a wheated bourbon.
Yeah, and then the Matty was. Is it the 4 grain? The Matty's.
Yeah, I think so. I think they're flip flopped. If it's not,
I had the wheated bourbon, really nice. You know, I like the wheat. He's got one like it's got witch in the name. It's like a smoky. It's almost like a Scotch, man. I forget what it's called. You know, I'm terrible with words and names.
Alan's one of them people. You know, me and you talked about earlier, Hooch. He's. I've got so much respect for him because not only has he done it on the legal side, but he done it on the illegal side too.
Same to you, Matt.
The Whiskey Witch. Yeah, he makes it's the Whiskey Witch. And
but yeah, man, I agree the same exact way. He's done it both sides, and he's also not pretentious about it. He doesn't. There's not an ounce of him that wants to brag about it. I feel like he just does his thing, and you either like it or you don't. That's just,
you know, and it's respectable. You know, ain't nothing like somebody that ain't got a big head, no matter where they're at. You know,
there's plenty of people that's got some big ass heads. We don't need no more.
Yeah, we don't need no more of that, man. Like, I think we all get along. We all get along a lot better, you know, together, and that's what it's about. Like, there ain't no room for egos. You know, we can always learn something. Always be a student, never be an expert, and you'll learn a lot more than you ever thought you would ever learn, knowing it all. You know, so there's always something new. So keep open minded. Y'all have a great night, Jeff. Thank you so much for giving us your time. And again, man, I appreciate you so much for you taking the chance on my boy Hooch. You know, I look at Hooch as family, and so it was so amazing and such a great time to come down and meet you and check out your place and you know, get blasted by the river. And so yeah, Nick, I'm sure I'll see you probably before the first of the year. Hint, hint. So, get that shit done, Hooch.
Down here, Chad. You know, I had a blast with this batch, using your piece of equipment there, Sean. But all of the information, the ideas y'all have given me, letting me have this time to be on here with y'all. I'm more in distilling royalty right now with you guys.
We're not royalty. We're just regular dudes. But we appreciate
but y'all know your stuff.
We appreciate your kind words, man. And we fake it pretty well.
Well, you know, that's the beauty about all. Like I said earlier, you know, we all can learn from each other. You know, we've all done different things, and
we do it. We do it different ways.
The thousand ways to do this. And one way ain't always right, man. You gotta mix them all together.
And I bet we've all messed it up the way it could go too. So that's one.
I've definitely messed up a bunch.
Yeah. But yeah, Jeff, I can't thank you enough for jumping in here and being as open as you've been with everything, man. You make this country boy's dream come true, brother, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah, we're getting off for Hooch starts singing. I don't want to hear that shit.
Yeah.
So.
It's my pleasure.
We love all y'all, man. Check us out on Apple Podcasts now, Spotify, Samsung, pretty much anything. Yep. Come. You can rewatch us on YouTube. Check us out on Facebook. You know, we're always around. So we love all y'all. Everybody have a great night. And hey, man, y'all shine on.
I agree, Richard.
Thanks for having us, guys.